Hey everybody! Yesterday I opened up my Zwift RunPod. Let me get the box out here. So if you didn't see that on Facebook, I tracked down the link and you can see that it's a done on my Facebook Live, and unfortunately Facebook steals your videos from you. They don't let you keep them, which is kind of sad. In the box there was this really nice sticker, and there's the box. The RunPod itself was mounted in this little frame here, as though these were the laces on your shoe. And there's the back. I can't get the autofocus on it, but that's where the battery goes in. I used an old battery to open it, and give you a little tip for when you put the cap back on the battery, the hatch door, make sure that you put it in straight, because you don't want to strip the threads on this really soft plastic. So you unscrew it a little bit until it clicks, and then screw it in, and you should be fine. Here is the back. This goes underneath your shoelaces. Now in the directions here, which I think I can get that up, there's the camera. It says put it between the second and third eyelets up from the toes, and click the RunPod clockwise onto the holder until it clicks. Now there is no specific directions for a up or down, but it does have the big Z here and a little bit of like a ground diamond effect, which I'm going to assume is the bottom. And hopefully that doesn't make a difference. I know with the Adidas foot pod I was using, there was a difference. So I'm going to use my right foot, because my right foot doesn't really care too much about stuff. My left foot's picky. And these are the New Balance Leadville V93s. They're a pretty good trail shoe. I like them on the trail pretty good. I've worn them on the treadmill a few times, and they're okay. They don't have a lot of cushioning, even though it kind of looks like this, but this is pretty firm foam. It doesn't have a lot of cushioning. It does have a little bit of an obvious, very flexible rock plate in the sole, which of course is good if you're a trail runner, and is irrelevant if you're on a treadmill. So what we need to do is find the second and third. So there's the second, and there's the third. And look at that. There's this little, the elastic band that keeps your laces locked. That's kind of in the way. So we know we have to put it underneath that. And again, hopefully that doesn't affect my toe flexibility. I don't anticipate that. We'll see. All right. So I've made some room here, and we take the backing plate. Oh, and look, it's kind of cute. You can just barely see it. They've got little ridges to say, hey, look, this is where the laces cross. So I put it in there with the laces. The choice of fingers is irrelevant. I just picked a random finger to put under it. Oh, let's put this up here where we can see it. Now we take the Zwift RunPod, which I try to keep my fingers out of the way so you can see it. There's the little ridges and the Z. So we put it in here. There we go. We put it there. I'm trying to find the center. Man, I'm having trouble with this camera here today. I'm trying to know where it is. We twist it clockwise till it clicks. There. I'm sure you heard the click. And now it's on my shoe. And we kind of tighten up the laces a bit, because I really don't need it being super loose down there. My right foot likes the laces a little bit tighter across the top of the foot. I'm going to leave these open so I can get it on my foot. Okay. So later on, when I get dressed to go on my treadmill run and try to run with Zwift, then I will go from there on the next video. So there you go. I have installed the Zwift RunPod. You can see the little ridges kind of like glowing there in the light. And there's the Z. And there's the top. And that's really not too bad. It's bigger than the Adidas foot pod, which I thought I had right here. Yes, here we go. There's the Adidas RunPod. And as you can see, it's wider than the Adidas RunPod and taller than the Adidas RunPod by quite a bit. And as far as weight, yeah, it's a little bit heavier than the Adidas RunPod as well. The problem with the Adidas RunPod is that it's not really compatible with anything. And I was using it with Wahoo Fitness. Their the Wahoo iRun or something like that. I can't. Of course, they wouldn't use I because they get sued by Apple. Being the nice guys that they are, they wouldn't let them use anyone use the letter I for anything. And I may be wrong, and I apologize to Apple if that's true. But I want to try the Zwift Run, especially because it's free right now, and I'm going to see if it's worth it. When I've been out riding on Zwift, I've seen people running, sometimes along the shoulder of the road, sometimes in the there's like rec paths, sidewalks up above the trail where you can watch the people running. And I don't know if those are actual real runners, because their names don't pop up over their head because I'm not in competition with them, so I don't get to see their stats or anything. But we'll see if it changes when I'm running. Now, there are group events like at really crazy times of the day on Zwift Run. You can go and look in events to find those. And there's some pretty good looking ones, and they have a broad selection of user levels. A 7 kilometer per hour group, 8 kilometer per hour group, 9, 10 kilometer per hour group. So it just depends on where your own personal running pace is on the treadmill. I probably fit best into an 8-ish kilometer per mile group because I'm not really going for speed so much right now. And mostly I'm just trying to build a base, because if I do a VK, I have to go 3.5 miles ish, 3.1 ish, it depends on the race, miles at a fairly good pace. And if I'm doing something like the Cirque series, which was just added to the USA Sky Running, those have a tendency to be about 6-ish miles with 3,000 to 4,000 feet of gain. And that's running along the ridge lines. As an example, running around the ridge around Brighton Resort, which might be kind of fun, I don't know. But it's 6-ish miles, and I would have to do a little bit more work to get there. As you might recall, and this is extraneous to this whole FootPod thing, so if you've already just gotten everything you need to know about the FootPod out of this, go ahead and just stop the video, it's cool. But when I was staying with relatives in Seattle, I was running on Tiger Mountain and Cougar Mountain in along I-90 east of Seattle a little ways, in a little village called Issaquah. And really good 7-mile runs with 1,000 plus feet of gain. And I did pretty good for 3 days in a row, but I was hurting for a whole week afterwards because I just don't have that base right now. I don't know if you've been aware of this, but as a coach for the high school mountain biking team, it's way more important for me to be able to ride with at least my intermediate group of riders, which for a guy my age is a big stretch. For a guy who didn't grow up mountain biking, there's some technical, I mean, it's a full body. You're really out there, you're wrestling on some of those trails. And I'm a road biker from way back, gosh, like 40 years on a road bike, and it's just a very different thing. So I had to reduce my running quite a bit over the last couple of years, 3 years, to accommodate that. And now I'm in a place where I've pretty much achieved the goals I've set for the coaching. I can easily ride with the intermediates, and it's not a big deal. I can ride with the advanced on a good day, and I can kind of step back that training and push my running training back up to the front. And that's my plans for this year. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me for this few minutes, and I will talk to you later from the treadmill.